Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I'm your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Monday if you are inside of Patreon. If you are outside of Patreon, it's Wednesday. Going back to Patreon, I want to say thank you so much for supporting the podcast. You all will receive a bonus episode because I was out sick last week, so I did not get to record an early episode for Patreon. So more than likely, it's going to be like a virtual video, something. I'm going to figure out how to exactly do that, but it will get done this week. Now, for everybody else, thank you so much for listening, following, supporting. Of course, Patreon supports financially. If you would like to join Patreon, where you can have access to the early episodes. Also, we be in the DMs, okay? I got a couple DMs this weekend and we were in there chatting it up. So if you are somebody who's like, I want to talk to Brandy directly and you don't want me to miss your DM, you better join Patreon, okay? Because I can't keep up with Instagram and TikTok DMs, but Patreon, those are easily accessible because it's not that many, right? It's not that overwhelming. So, but today's episode originally started out as an email, right? I got an email and it is from a nurse who is quite troubled at work. But reading the email, it kind of hinted to some of the things that we have talked about in the past that I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page about. So before we go into that, I'm going to read the email and then we're going to go in to break this email down. Okay. All right. Hello, Miss Brandy. Hey, boo. I was wondering if you could help me gain some clarity about my job. Currently, I'm a nurse case manager for a large hospital in the Houston area. I started my job with the hospital 2 years ago. My pay is salary. Over the past 2 years, I've been taking call approximately 2 to 3 times per month. Call consists of 5 to 9 Wednesday through Tuesday. The following week, with the exception of Saturday and Sunday, call is from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Here's the kicker. I am not being paid any extra for the time that I'm on call. Now, granted, I might not get a call the entire week, but when I get a call, she is not being paid extra. Okay? She says, I feel like I should at least get per diem. I have asked my manager and director and was basically told to suck it up because I am salary, and this is just the way that they do things here. I have even reached out to HR several times and told her my concern and left several messages, and she was basically not able to return my call in over a year. But I literally see her in the hallway and she gives me the occasional, hey girl, I am super frustrated because I feel unheard. Of note, I have not found anything in my job description where it says I have to take call. Please advise what I can do, if anything, about this situation. Thanks, Betty. Betty, let me tell you something, okay? Number one, they told you about this. They did. It was probably in your contract where you did not read, okay? This is a part of reading those contracts. Sometimes you may have to have an attorney, put it into chat GPT, whatever you need to do so that you can break down the understanding and you're able to get it. Like, I just don't understand how we end up in these situations. Well, I do. One is we are not reading, okay, or asking the right questions in the interview, right? What are the hours that I am expected to work? Okay, what is the shift? Is there any work outside of this shift? Being that you are salaried, you need to ask those questions, because if there's anything expected outside of the normal working hours that the hospital gave to you, then you need to get that in writing, and it needs to be clear. Okay, so this is saying what you should have done. What you should have done is also left, because this has been going on for 2 years. You've been here over the past 2 years. You have been taking approximately 2 to 3, or every 2 to 3 months, you've been on call. Every 2 to 3 months, you're on call. Now, you need to look at your contract, number one, and see if that is required of you per your position, per your HR, per your director, whatever. You need to look at that and see if it is in there. But I would not have stayed this long. When they did it the first time, after you had been there for the first, 3 months or something like that, and they let you know that you're going to have to be on call, the market wasn't that bad then. You just was like, the salary's good. I guarantee you that the reason why you stayed is because of the money. But there's a lot that comes along with having money in a job. Sometimes you are going to work at a place that pays you well, they treat you well, and it's great and all this other stuff. But then you have situations like this where they kind of sneak things in under your salary. Hours are getting longer. It's pushing in on your personal time. And at first, you don't really acknowledge that it's a problem. You don't really acknowledge, like, I really cannot do this. The minute that you took this to your director and your HR manager, and your manager, and they did not try to do anything to rectify the situation, or at least to where y'all can come to an understanding, that should have been the day that you went on ahead and found you another job. The market was not like it is now 2 years ago. People done been getting jobs left and right. Or were getting jobs left and right. And now it's a little bit slower, but in some industries, it ain't slowed down at all, because money is still flowing through them. So this is my concern, is you stayed at this job knowing that it was, number one, not what you wanted, because you didn't want to work in circulation every 2 to 3 months working on call. You didn't want to do that. So why did you stay this long? Why did you stay? I'm not understanding. It doesn't make any sense to me to stay at a place where you know that this is the requirement, you don't like it, and you're pushing up against what everybody else is doing. I am sure you are not the only person doing this. So that's where it's like, we have to accept some accountability in this situation, because they showed you that 2.5 years ago, or however many, because you said over 2 years that you've been working with this company or with this hospital. Why did you stay? Why did you stay in that position? It's the money. And you thought that you were going to be able to talk your way through it. No, this is the requirement. This is what you signed up for, whether you remember or not. This is where you have to understand that you have the power to get out of this situation by moving on to another job. They're not paying you any mind or paying you any attention, because this is what everybody does. It's not just one person who has to do this. So you're not being singled out. You're not being bullied. But if you don't like it, and you don't like the hours that they give you, or the requirement to work on call and not be paid, and it's all included in your salary, then you have to go and work elsewhere. This is where we need to get some control of the situation, have some accountability about the situation. How did we get here in the first place? You accepted a job thinking that the money was going to be enough. It's not. Stop accepting these jobs and thinking, oh, I can deal with this because the money is good. The money is good. Eventually, that is not going to be a concern. Eventually, it's not going to matter how much money you make. You don't want to be in this motherfucking job, period. And you're going to hate it. So you need to make a decision. I can't help you talk through this, because it's a requirement of everybody. And you saying it's not in your job description, but I guarantee you it is in that contract, that provider contract. It's in the code of ethics or code of conduct or what the expectations are for providers inside of the hospital. I guarantee you it is somewhere. Ain't no way no hospital system this big got a situation going on like this and it ain't documented. There's no way. No way. No way. And that's why I want us to really I want y'all to think about it. Before you accept a job, is the money worth it? Is the money worth the responsibility? And you also need to be asking questions. What are the hours expected for me to work? And some of you may be, well, they could lie. They could say anything. You could be lying too. Okay? This is like a trust situation. If they told you that these are the hours and that is what's in writing, then you don't have to move past anything else. This is the hours that they gave you. But what I'm saying is, did you ask that question? Did you say, what are my responsibilities as a nurse case manager? What are the responsibilities? What are the duties? What are the requirements? Because that is a big ass requirement of a case manager. That I have to be on call several days throughout the week. I cannot imagine that did not come up in conversation. I just cannot. I can't imagine that it didn't. I just think you thought that the money was going to be enough. And it's not. It's not enough money in the world to make you sacrifice that much of your personal time. But you thought it was in the beginning, or you thought that maybe I'll be over this. I only have to do it for a little bit. No, that's the requirement of everybody in this position. So this is where I want you to really think about what your next step is going to be. Okay? I want you to write down the pros and cons of this job, if it is worth it. If it's worth it. If it is not worth the salary, it's not worth the headache, it's not something that you could just get over, then move on. Move on. But if it is, the pros outweigh the cons, this is just one little piece that you don't necessarily care for, then do it. Then work the job. But if not, you have the power to do what you need to do in this situation. You just don't want to do it. There's no talking your way through rules and policies. You have to follow the rules and policies that are given to you inside of this organization. There is no lettering that I could write. There is no formula that we can create to get outside of the normal standard of operations or procedure of operations that they have deemed necessary for this organization. There's no getting around that. So I want you to really put some pen to paper, write out the scenarios or the pros and cons to this situation that will help you make that decision. Because you ultimately have the power to decide if you're going to stay or go. I don't think that they're going to, even if you did write a letter, you see how they're ignoring you for the last year? They are ignoring you because this is proper procedure for everybody. So they're not giving it any life. They're not paying you any mind. So you feel unheard because they don't want to. They don't want to hear you. So you need to make a decision. If you want to stay in this position and work like you're required to and take that salary and feel like, okay, I can do this, then do it. But if not, baby, you have to make that decision to move on. Okay? I want y'all to read them damn contracts that they give you. Stop signing shit. Okay, thank you so much. Give me time to review the contract and I'll send it back as soon as possible. You don't have to sign it in person. When they send you that or they give it to you in person, tell them, thank you so much for the information. I'm going to go home, review my contract, and then we're going to move forward with signing. Thank you so much for the offer. I'm going to review it and then move forward with signing. You don't have to accept any and everything that is requested of you. This is during the interview. I know you probably needed a job, so you was jumping on it and the money was good. But now you are saying that you cannot really keep whatever that is. That on call, you can't do that. You can't keep it up. You could to begin with, but now you can't. And I think that's the real truth, is where we get down to, is you cannot do that anymore. So you have to make a decision. And please know, I'm not picking on you or trying to be mean or nothing. I just want us to understand that we have control in these situations. Right now, they have shown you they do not give a damn about nothing that you're requesting or saying. So you have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to stay or whether you are going to go. All right, y'all. And to wrap up our conversation, I want to remind you, or just announce, that I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Kamani Sands. Her episode is going to be recorded today, which is Monday, and released inside of Patreon early. And then to the public, it is going out on Friday. And then also for the month of May, I'm going to be interviewing Sierra, who is the owner and operator of Work Receipts. That's the app that I advertised about on social media. And she's going to be giving us a play-by-play of the app, the ins and outs of that. And it's really, really such a good resource for people who are inside of the workplace. And they have a free component, which is where you document all of your situations that have happened or occurred inside of the workplace. And then they have the part where you get attached to an HR professional. You also can have a meeting with an employment attorney. You'll get matched based on your area and your scenario to that person. And so we're going to kind of dive into that and discuss some HR related concerns, because she is a HR consultant as well. Okay. So please make sure that if you have a question regarding HR specific things that you would like for me to take to Sierra for next month, please make sure you email them over and say, this is for Sierra, at the Meal Management Pod. That's THEE Meal, MILL, Management Pod, POD, at gmail.com. Okay. All right. Now to the baby that emailed me, I had to say it, y'all. This is something that I have gotten a lot about, just accepting positions. You get on the job, it's something different, and you just stay because you feel like the money is enough, and it's not. It's not enough money. It's never going to be enough money to make you want to give up your personal time, period. I don't give a fuck how much my company throws at me. I will not sacrifice my personal life for money. That's just not my thing. I'm not really into that. So please make sure you are making decisions based off of future circumstances, because it won't always be like this. Okay. Okay. All right. Y'all have a good ass day. Patreon, enjoy your Monday. If you are listening publicly on Wednesday, you enjoy your Monday, and y'all have a good ass day, period. No matter what day you're listening to. And I will see y'all on the internet. Bye.